HQ, people criticize him by saying he doesn't have a lot of mechanics. Going into BTR, he's using Joe like a god. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And then JP, I do want to see, has he really kept up? So now the bans have started. BTR will be first pick, I'm assuming, and then Echo will be second pick. Valentina as well as Karita getting banned out. So a lot of focus on Sanji.
Yep, a lot of poke. And it looks like good preparation coming in from Echo's side. They're banning out the Melissa super early on.
Yep.
I don't know if they really want to actually dive. It's one of those things where it's like, I know you're good at it, but do I want to build an entire composition just to punish banning out that pick?
I mean, I can't remember which day, like, was it the first 2 days or the last 2 days that basically Saken has just been exclusively using Melissa and he's won every single game. So, perhaps, yeah?
I'm going to double check that for you, but I'm going to say our belief, yes.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, rinse and repeat, right? If the opponent doesn't ban the Melissa, why not go for it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And there you go, Bigatron finally opted for a marksman ban here. As like the theme, we mentioned that earlier as well. Most ban is the Claude. It seems like Echo will be the casualty yet again to not play the Claude. Paquito, though, will be banned out. So it says what? Arlet, Brethren open.
Perhaps the Kaja as well.
Joy as well.
Joy, yeah, Joy. I don't know. Uranus is open as well.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff is open. I double-checked it, and you're right. They actually did exclusively win a majority of their games on this Melissa. Now, we see the first pick. We see the Joy. I don't think anybody's going to deny that Joy is really, really good right now in the meta.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a flex pick as well, right? EXP, jungle, where are you going? EXP has that vengeance option in that spell. Jungle, very sneaky, very powerful. But Kaja is still open here, a suppression that can counter the Joy. Will they insta-pick it? It seems like they're taking their time here. Yi first. If not the Kaja, Brethren is going to be the option, but no, they will stick to the Kaja here, countering that Joy.
All right. So they have answers. They have a way to kind of set up for a potential team fight. I kind of like where Echo is leaning and posturing themselves, right? But looking at the bans, the fact that they're already getting rid of the quote-unquote safe marksmen does tell me that it might be a little bit more pick-oriented for the side of BTR.
I mean, if they're going for it, I would be totally fine with that because now something that they have to consider is that Echo has an opportunity to pick up the carry, which is very deadly alongside with the Kaja. If not, I kind of feel like carry will get banned out because, let's face it, the top marksmen right now are carry, Beatrix, 1-1 if you can use it really well, and other than that is the Harv and the Brody. Brody so far, if I'm not mistaken, throughout the Snapdragon Pro Series final group stages, only won once.
Okay. What do you think about this? Where is your stand on Leslie? Do you think Leslie is also a hot pick?
I think it's pretty hot, but I also think it's generally situational, right?
True.
Because it
Yeah,
takes so long to get to that, like, critical mass point where
Yeah.
you're looking at just two-tap people, ultimate snipe, one-shot people at the same time. But and then when you really think about it, right? The Farmis, why? Why exactly is he so good? Yeah, you pick Leslie, man, I can tank shots for you and my entire team. But that doesn't change the fact that the flexibility of BTR, it's very evident here.
Plus, I just want to say, if you're going to pick up a Leslie for BTR early, that's a huge mistake because your opponent is Sanford. The moment he sees a Leslie, that's when it's like, okay, you know what? Use them all the way. And there's nothing that they can do. So I kind of feel like picking up a Leslie against a very strong EXP laner, very, very hard thing to do. But I can already hear the sigh of like, I know it's a strong hero, but goddamn, is he boring?
No, just don't do Sanford dirty like this, man. Like, unless they're doing some kind of wacky nonsense where they kind of shift things up and not put this Uranus in the EXP lane.
No, it's the lightning truncheon on Uranus.
don't even pull my leg right now. I'm furious already. But Echo is setting up nicely, right? They're making sure that they're getting rid of the Franco, making sure that at least BTR don't have at least a suppression on their side, or at least a decent pick-off potential that's safe. And they even get rid of the counter pick of Dairoth on the opposite end.
Which makes sense, right? I mean, if you if you really look at it, right, the Franco man comes through because there are no crowd control from side of Bigatron, so they will look for that pick in that second phase. And right, Dairoth ban just makes sense. Hard counter towards that Uranus, asking a question here towards Orizo, what are you going to play? Going up against that Uranus, but Bigatron here. Okay, the Hereth ban comes through. Outplayed. targeted somehow.
Okay, so if Harith is going to get banned, they're purposely letting through things like Beatrix. I'm just going to double check Carry as well.
Leslie Brody and all those.
Leslie Brody. But the thing is that unfortunately for BTR, they're not exactly the tankiest lineup as of right now. That might change in the next couple of minutes or so, but we do see the Brody get locked in for the side of Echo, and they really want to punish this. You're really, really squishy? Perfect. I can finish you guys off pretty easily.
I mean, if the Brody gets a big advantage in the first 6 minutes, it's going to be a situation where even the cut alter could be basically nullified with just the first kill of Brody. So that's going to be very, very dangerous, but we got to look at the laning phase. Can you actually do it that well? Because the fact that you have a Faramis is to deny the first burst, but Brody is burst over burst over burst.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that mid priority is really wonky right now. Like, I would say that Echo definitely will get that first push and first rotation, and even if Joy goes into the jungle, there's not enough speed to actually buffer that bottom side of the map, assuming that the gold lane is going to be on the bottom side. Ruby, Kufra.
Crowd controls, yeah.
I think I really like the Kufra. Ruby. Actually, no, even the Ruby is good,
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty, well, I mean, it's a sandbag up in the EXP side, but these team fights are going to be exciting.
I mean, it's to anticipate a possible assassin pick as well, right? With the Ruby and as well as the Kufra here. So a very solid pick. But I don't know. I'm feeling kind of iffy with the three
still
picks.
up.
Redrin is still up, sure. I don't know.
Or Martis. You like Martis.
I was thinking, thinking that maybe Echo wanted to be a little spicy for game number one, just like knowing that Joy is on the opposite end, like Ishin Ranger. Like you show up the marksman, be super fast on it, and maybe look to outscale your opponent. But it's a good draft.
You know what? I agree. And now, casters, do you agree?
Yeah, we completely agree over here. Not really sure what he said earlier on because I was adjusting my seat, but yeah, entirely we do agree. But here it is on the caster desk. It's me, Eterna, alongside with Mirko. Now, how are we feeling about these two drafts?
Well, you know, honestly, looking at Bigatron Alpha's draft, I think they are, you know, doubling down on what made them such a good team in the group stages and even in MPL Indonesia. They're going for these team fights, heavy skirmishes, pickoffs from the get-go, and that systematic playstyle in the early game.
For sure. I think they have really, oh, what were you doing?
No, it's just a test.
Oh, you're getting ready. You're getting ready for Bigatron losing this championship.
Oh,
Why are you getting ready, bro?
Wait, okay, but you just said Bigatron will lose. Why'd you predict Bigatron then?
I didn't say Bigatron's gonna lose. I said you're predicting that Bigatron's gonna lose because you're getting ready for the dance.
Oh, no, that was just
What's
like
going on?
It's called a preventive measure.
All right.
I don't know how it is, but you're wearing purple.
I am.
Are you Echo?
I'm wearing pink.
Pink, and your hair
is
is purple.
A little colorblind?
Maybe, you know,
My
it
hair
rubbed
is
off.
purple.
Are you
but
Echo side?
I have to go for Bigatron in this one.
Why? You don't usually go for BTR, you know.
I don't like to admit it, but with this new lineup, I'm just not too certain with what they're going to be able to bring out against Bigatron with their roster that's already formed. They already have their synergy down to a T, and they're playing with huge crowd control and huge presence in the, I would say, just when they go for team fights, right? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome you to the Land of Dawn for game number 1 between Bigatron as well as Echo. And you can already see here a little bit of invades going on. JP, very, very aggressive in this early stage.
Already the red tree used up though. Oh, flicker by JP, knocked out by the Timer's Revenge. Only the early game flicker though, burnt out here. No problem for Echo. Now this is a pretty new team. We actually spoke about this off cam. JP stepping in for Yaoi now. As you can see from their trio MDL, it seems like, you know, the synergy just is better for them with JP stepping on.
A little bit sad. But on the other hand, I'm actually quite intrigued to see how this is going to work out. And talking about intrigue, look at Key's choice of talent. He actually went for lethal ignition to what we're used to accustomed, which is pull yourself together.
Wait, Super Ken, I don't know what happened early. Oh, he stole the orange buff, Zaida! Early on, already pushing Super Ken into deep waters. And Super Ken is still level 2. Zaida's level 4, and he's going to clear the entirety of his own orange buff as well. Bigatron Alpha struggling early game.
I think that's genius. I think that's a genius play coming in from Echo. A lot of the times when Bigatron Alpha are leading, it's because the Super Ken can always get that level lead. But in this instant, the fact that Echo have been so great at pressuring Super Ken, just preventing that rotation from happening. You can see Bigatron Alpha looking for crumbs here, especially now that the neutral objective is about to spawn. A lot of them not yet level 4 just yet, like Key, who heavily needs it, as well as Supervin. So already a huge dub for Echo here in this first neutral objective.
Huge dub is a bit of an understatement. At this point, it's just Echo who can do anything they want in the neutral objectives. Bigatron Alpha can't even look for a contest, and just like that, Zaida picks up the first turtle of the game. Level 5 on the way to 6. He's already going for more invades, completely capitalizing, punishing Super Ken on the Joy. Supervin, Downer's Revenge coming down. JP with a good Divine Judgment, but Key jumps in now with the Cult Altar helping him out. The real world revelation comes down from Sanji, able to dish out a lot of damage as Rizzo jumps in the back, but Key falls to the hands of Zaida. Echo, they start first with a first blood.
This is what we're expecting from the composition that Echo have brought. They're going in for a lot of pickups, they're going in for that early lead, and you can see here, even, oh wait, so Rizzo, okay, Zaida still gets that buff, but despite the option that Bigatron actually has later on, I feel like that power spike comes later. So Bigatron Alpha, they just need to be able to sustain through all this aggression, try to pass and push through the aggression coming in from Echo, and they're going to be just fine because the power spikes, they got to wait for the power spikes. If they play into the tempo of Echo, that's when things get a little bit too snowbally, especially for Zaida, and that's dangerous.
Absolutely. I think for Echo, they need to try to just utilize this pressure that they have, start going for early invades, and just secure neutral objectives. Because at this point, well, good Divine Judgment, bringing Supervin back. The Menace Rage comes down, but Outplayed is able to outplay the situation, gets out and gets a kill back to 0 for Echo.
Sitting 1-0-0 as well for Outplayed in particular. You think that, let's say, you don't see some progress from Echo, and Outplayed just really shines as always. And we're also talking about the synergy between the trio. It's looking pretty good, Mirko. It's scary.
It really is. I mean, we've been seeing this. When JP stepped into the group stages, it just feels like Echo finally clicked. We haven't seen this style of Echo in a long time. I think it was M4 and MPLPH Season 11 that we got to see prime Echo. But at this point, 2,000 gold lead, it's safe to say that they are comfortably in the lead. And you know what happens when Echo are in the lead usually. It's very hard to take it off of them.
We'll see, we'll see. I mean, right now, both these teams, they're going to look for a little bit more. Echo already has the upper hand in this neutral objective. A better setup as well. Saken, it's not it. Not yet. Oh, JP goes in.
Clear Divine Judgment, good disengage. Supervin gets him out, but he's going to pay with his life. Zaida's the one who picks up the kill. Outplayed, not given the kill here, but Echo, they still utilize this to completely bully Saken in lane. You can expect the entirety of the shield turret being taken out by Outplayed.
And this is an automatic 3,000 gold lead right now as Sanji opens up that real-world manipulation. He's actually forced to use that Cult Altar as well, so another resource just stripped away from Bigatron Alpha here in the first 5 minutes of the game. Can you imagine, with all this happening, it's only been 5 minutes in the game. Echo, whether it be MPL, MDL, they certainly know how to punish their enemies. And here we go, once again, going to the bottom side.
Oh, Shield Unity stopping Super Ken as he dashes forward, but what is that damage? Sanford on the Uranus, they're looking for a dive. Sanji flickers forward, Super Ken under the turret, he falls to Sanji with a flicker. Very, very aggressive. And the Echo Express now, they're all in.
Oh, they're going all in as well here. Key forced to flicker out of that aggression coming in from Zaida as he doesn't mind going under the turret. He's not deterred with the damage from the turret here. Echo, 4,000 gold lead already, getting another turret in that mid side. It's not something that we're used to seeing from Bigatron. Super Ken, 2 levels, 3 levels below Zaida right now. Certainly isn't a good game, but and that's just it, right? Sanford 2v1ing Saken, the main damage dealer, dealing 0 to little damage. How are they supposed to play around this?
I mean, at this point, Echo have completely just, forced Bigatron Alpha into a corner, right? It's just Echo doing everything on the map. You don't see any sort of counter play for Bigatron Alpha. They're not even able to contest for anything, even their own orange buff. Heck, Super Ken, I think he's only gotten 1 orange buff this entire game, and that's the one previously from this one. Zaida was able to steal it away with the Retribution, and it's perfectly timed for the turtle that's coming up. Sanford, Eats a few turret shots, but it's all good. Zyda picks up the turtle for free again. And Echo are just rolling through Bigatron Alpha.
Dude, no way. Saken just picked up the Blade of Despair. He's so far behind, outplayed. Brody already picked up the Malefic Roar in comparison. So you can already see the difference in damage coming in from both of... Oh, wait a minute, JP!
Flicker Divine Judgment onto Cerezo, but it's a good pull into the Bennett's Rage. Now the Altar saves them, and they find a kill. Superfin in the back finds 3 members, and now Saken is on a roll. They pick up a triple kill out of nowhere, and Bigatron Alpha, somehow, some way, they found an opening in the game.
The venue roars. They're so happy to see this really come to this point. Like you mentioned, with 4 members taken down from Echo, now that's the beauty of the composition that Bigatron Alpha brought to the table. They have so much CC, they have so much potential and resources that they can utilize in these team fights to outplay Echo in these circumstances. And taking a look at the items here, this is what I was so concerned about. With Brody already picking up the Heptases and the Malefic Roar, that's already enough damage. Meanwhile, the Beatrix just picked up that Blade of Despair, Mirko.
We mentioned this earlier. We said maybe this is going to be a late power spike for the Beatrix, you know, 7th minute BOD, but then they just got a triple kill. So it kind of equalizes everything that Outplayed has been doing. You know, all the gold lead that he had, now it's only down to 10 Eterna. And Saken, he's in the same level as Outplayed. Even Superken has been given enough time and resources to catch up by a bit. But Zyda is still very much in a comfortable position, 2 levels ahead. It's going to be 3 after he clears this mini wave up.
That's not good at all here coming in from the rotations. But like you mentioned, there is still a possibility for Bigatron Alpha to come back. And so now Echo, they're put in a position, they're given the question, how are you going to be able to close this as soon as possible? Because with the laning phase already done and dusted, these teams, they're going to clump up as 5. And in this 5v5 kind of situation, I feel like the composition for Bigatron Alpha works a little bit better. And now we'll see exactly how this is going to work out. Because 8 minutes in, 9 minutes in, you can see that Echo, they're already starting the Lord. You can see the positioning coming in from Cerezo. Even if he doesn't land his skill shots, there's always Key, there's always Supervin as well. So they also need to be aware of where Supervin is in these particular team fights.
Oh, Casino by JP. He's looking for Superken. Sanford spawns Superken right now. JP has the flicker. Not going to be able to go in just yet. He's holding on to it, but Supervin jumps in. Now finds the Tyrant's Rage on the JP. Now it's an all-out fight as Cerezo was able to pull Outplayed, but he's able to flicker back out. Lord taking very low right now, and it's Zyda who secures the tournament memory! Into the back by Outplayed, and he wreaks havoc upon the robots. Cerezo running for his dear life, and Echo, they're able to secure another massive neutral objective.
And a 2-for-1 trade in terms of the teams. Echo getting all the right picks, all the right trades, and all the right places here. You can see the Lord already marching there in the mid side. Sanji already being super annoying. The slow is there. You can feel the damage start to come through, especially since he already picked up that Holy Crystal. And there you go, Outplayed with that BOD. You can expect that to land. Super high damage coming into the siege.
Lord's still going to be dealt with though. However, Echo won the team fight. But unfortunately for them, they weren't able to take Saken down, who is basically, for Bigatron Alpha, the only sort of really reliable wave clear. On this Bennett, you saw it with your own eyes. JP though, flicker, oh, he catches Superfin, brilliantly played. Bringing him back now, Outplayed, dishing out the damage on the Tornapot memory, taking him out with a killing spree. Saken able to dash out, he as well, oh. What is that damage from Outplayed? Saken just stands his ground with the Mirror's Passion. I'm offended, bringing JP back, but the turret should still fall. Outplayed, just hitting, munching on these turrets.
All right. No casualties from the side of Echo, but Supervin had to go out because of that engage. But here we see start of a silver lining coming in from Bigatron Alpha, right? As this game progresses, like we mentioned, things are getting a little bit more equal. You can see here Saken on the gold earned leaderboard, really catching up to Outplayed. I think there's 1,000 difference, but now Saken already picked up the Malefic Roar. So in these team fights, when they're expecting Saken to deal the damage, he definitely can, but they need to be able to protect him long enough, which he was able to do previously. But with this dive,
look at this cut. Sanford brought back JP. No flicker this time, so Bigatron Alpha still can escape. But you want to finish your point?
yeah, I was worried about the dive. right? Because that's what Echo has. They have Zyda to dive into the backline. They have JP to go for that ultimate on to Saken. And with these kinds of distractions happening and with so many things that Saken really needs to avoid, it's a little bit more difficult for Bigatron Alpha.
I agree. I think for Bigatron Alpha, it really relies on how Saken is able to play out in these team fights, right? Because it feels like it is still a front-to-back composition, heavily prioritizing Saken. You have a few die members from Super Ken, but they're just there to act as a distraction or just to take out Sanji. Super Vin now caught all alone, isolated from the team, taken out even without anything. Flicker, I'm offended, and Tyrant's Rage coming down with a Bennett's Rage. Drop down upon Echo. Now Outplayed is going to be shut down in the back. Chorizo out of nowhere picks up a double. Now stunning JP up. Saken clearing out the waves. 2 members down for Echo as the Lord, this time in hands, spawns in.
Oh no! 4 members still alive and well for the side of Bigatron Alpha. The lead that Echo have built from that early game now is going to be tested here in the 13th minute of the game. You can see, oh, Chorizo goes in with I'm offended. He's still able to get out though, but this is the Lord Dance that severely favors Bigatron Alpha here.
Outplayed is respawning though, Super Vin as well. Now with Sanji and Outplayed back, Bigatron Alpha, that window has closed to go for the Lord. Echo will go back, they have a slow push down below as well. I'm offended with the Bennett's Rage combo down, JP almost losing immortality. Is able to dash away, but the real world manipulation has been used. Shielding it now, jumping onto Chorizo. Is still able to escape for a bit, but they're looking to hunt him down. Slowed once again, Chorizo gets out. Echo, they've committed 2 ultimates, Tortoises Poissons and the RWM. Bigatron, they've committed 1 now.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, right? They're able to buy some time for their team. They were able to zone the members of Bigatron Alpha away. And even if they committed and they at least get a pick onto the side of Bigatron Alpha, the Super can really want to go for a 50-50. He's still a level below Zyda right now. So I don't know how far Bigatron Alpha are willing to contest. I think they need to buy some time for Super Ken in particular to catch just a little bit up before they go for a 50-50. I'm wondering why they still want to commit onto this. Why not look for something else on the other side of the map?
Simply put, it's Echo that is forcing it. You can see it's Echo that are holding the Lord down. They are starting this Lord Dance. So Bigatron Alpha, they have no other way, no other response but to try to match it. Sure, 1 level lead. Zyda definitely has the advantage, and it's a big one here, especially considering Echo have a Divine Judgment within their arsenal. But it's a fight that Bigatron Alpha needs to take. They need to try to push these waves as well, and so far, take a look at the slow push down below. Bigatron Alpha have done their due diligence here, clearing out the waves, getting good setup down for this Lord Dance.
That's true, that's true. You can see here already Zyda forcing to clear that mid wave as well. I guess that's an objective that they're willing to let go. Because of the short side, they are going to be able to clear that top, but look at this. JP already with concealed play. He used Flicker as well.
JP used Flicker, has the Divine Judgment. Chorizo now caught in the midst right now. The Divine Judgment comes through on the Super Cam with the call alter. Saves his life in the back. You can see Super Vin jumping in with the Rage, but Chorizo falls first. The Rage doesn't connect onto anyone. Sanji's able to withstand it with the real world manipulation. And just like that, Echo, they will secure another neutral objective through their chaotic team fight.
If it was Leo, he would be saying how the Orcas know how to tango, and that's exactly what they were able to do. Make it a little bit more messier, not a pure 5v5. Use the fact that their composition was built for pickoffs and getting 2 in the process, plus a Lord as well. All in all, it's Echo with the advantage and as well with the map pressure. And Bigatron Alpha still looking for ways to punish the Orcas here.
It's a super one-dimensional team fight comp for Bigatron Alpha, and that's why they have to rely on these team fights. Meanwhile, Echo, the reason you see them completely, I would say, dominating in this game, aside from some team fights, is the fact that they have everything in their game, everything in their drafts. They were given the right tools, and now this might be the end.
It truly is here. Outplayed already picking up the Athena shield as well, so just in case there's some damage coming out from a Key, as well as Super Ken. Honestly, he is going to be able to outmaneuver and out-sustain that damage. That Lord already being able to get that inhibitor turret in the top side. You can see Sanford as well as Zyda pushing in that bottom lane. But it's going to be defended here. Bigatron Alpha, they walk away, but they walk away with 1 less inhibitor turret. But look at that mid and that bottom wave crashing in unison.
The siege has to stop JP with a good pull. Chorizo pulled back the Cold Ultra, not within the range. Now Super Ken jumping to the back now with the rhythm, dealing a lot of damage onto the back, but look at the damage coming through as well. Wow, he finds Sanji in that team fight, and not even the base turret falls here. JP gets shot, still tanky enough to withstand. Meanwhile, Sanford, the prodigy from the Philippines, taking the second base turret down in the bottom lane.
Super Vin. Oh, it catches!
Revenge and the Rage don't fall up right now. Outplayed, able to flicker out, but the Shadow Stampede brings him back. Now Saka dealing damage, but outplayed! With a brilliant play to cancel it out to get a kill back on the Saken. Now it's Zaida and Sanford versus Vin and Ken. Both will disengage, but Bigatron Alpha, they have lost this skirmish.
And they lose Saken in the process. A really good pick coming in off from Super Vin, but unfortunately, it's not as worth it now that we think about it. You can see, though, it does give some space for Super Ken. Sanford, what are you doing?
Oh, consecration, Sanford!
Wow.
The genius!
I would have sworn that was Sanford's second death of this game. But he was able to get out of that. What is that?
It's a type of play that you wouldn't expect from anyone except for Sanford. If it's Sanford, you chill. You take a chill pill and you relax because Sanford knows his limits. Take a look at the items here. The reason he wanted to push it even further to risk that was because he knows, he calculates this with the Oracle, the Blade Armor, and even the Radiant Armor here. There's not much kill threat from Bigatron Alpha.
All right. But you know what's a threat?
What?
The fact that Faramis built full damage. That's scary coming into these team fights. So not only does he have the sustain, he also is going to be able to deal that damage. And I keep mentioning this in the drafts. People don't really consider Faramis to be a huge magic dealer. But the fact is you don't feel it. But he is, especially with how aggressive he was building, even with the Divine Glaive as well for that extra penetration. Echo, though now, they're going to be able to set up for this Lord a little bit better. They've actually brought it to their side as well. This is scary.
Very scary. I think it's much better than previous. Look at this, Chorizo already sent down below. Vin wants to go for it even without Chorizo. Risky plays, JP! Flicker in, only finding Divine Judgment on the Super Vin and Super Ken now. Pops in the rhythms. Big ultimate used up by Super Ken. Zaida with the shield unity. JP, no Divine Judgment, but the real Worm of Legend comes down onto Key. Flickers out. Sanford gunning him down. Outplayed with a good dash forward. Setting Saken up now with the Flicker coming down. Outplay still able to burst him down. Super Ken and Zaida 50-50 on the back. Let's see who gets this because the fight definitely went to Echo and even the Lord. Zaida has picked it up and Super Ken will fall. 16-9, 19 minutes in.
The three members from the side of Bigatron Alpha are out as well. Key is going to be up just in time to save this, but with Super Vin and Super Ken off the board, what is Echo expecting to take here other than victory? That top lane is going to be crashing, that mid as well, that bottom is going to in favor of Echo because of the lack of the inhibitor turret. Echo, once again, what amazing plays happening, and look at this.
Even with the Menace Rage, the RWM from Sanji was perfect. Outplay now, bursting Chorizo down, the base wide open, and Echo, they'll take game number 1.